Hello everyone, thanks for staying tuned into Africanews, your Pan-African channel. This is Football Planet, where we are all about African football and beyond. In the headlines, former Nigeria winger Emmanuel Amuneke was on Monday named Tanzania national team coach on a 2-year deal. The 1994 AFCON winner was unveiled at a press conference by the TFF president Wallace Karia in the capital, Dar es Salaam. Details coming up. The 2019 Under-17 African Cup of Nations CAF qualifiers got underway in Tanzania on Saturday. Only one team will advance from the qualifiers from the CAF zone to join other continental qualifiers at the 2019 Under-17 AFCON slated for May 12 to 26, 2019 in Tanzania. And Dutch legends Clarence, Seedorf and Kluivert were last week unveiled as Cameroon national team head coach and assistant coach respectively. The duo signed a 4-year contract with the continental champions ahead of the Africa Cup of Nations on home soil next year and are tasked to win the tournament. Details on that later in this show. This episode of Football Planet starts now. Former Super Eagles winger Emmanuel Amuneke was on Monday named Tanzania national team coach on a 2-year deal. The 1994 AFCON winner was unveiled at a press conference in Tanzania. He will be in charge of the Taifa Stars alongside local assistants and trainers. Listen.
Former Nigerian winger Emmanuel Amuneke has been named Tanzania national team coach on a 2-year deal. The 1994 Africa Cup of Nations winner was unveiled at a press conference by Tanzania Football Federation President Wallace Karia on Monday in the capital, Dar es Salaam. Karia says Amuneke will coach the senior team and all youth teams, assisted by local trainers for each category. Until recently, Amuneke was at the helm of the Sudanese side, Al Khartoum Al Watan. His first competitive game in charge of the senior Taifa Stars will be their 2019 Africa Cup of Nations qualifier in Uganda in September. The 47-year-old previously coached Al Hazim of Saudi Arabia as an assistant, Julius Berger and Ocean Boys of Nigeria, and including a 3-year deal with Nigeria Under-17 team. Amuneke was the assistant coach when Nigeria won the FIFA Under-17 World Cup trophy for the record 4th time in the United Arab Emirates in 2013, before leading Nigeria to a 5th Under-17 World Cup title in Chile in 2015.
The 2019 Under-17 Africa Cup of Nations CAF qualifiers got underway in Tanzania on Saturday. Only one team will advance from the qualifiers from the CAF zone to join other continental qualifiers at the 2019 Under-17 AFCON slated for May next year in Tanzania.
Hosts Tanzania and Rwanda edged Burundi and Sudan respectively to snatch victories in the opening matches of the CAF Under-17 Africa Cup of Nations zone qualifier on Saturday in Dar es Salaam. Tanzania, though already qualified by virtue of being hosts of the tournament next year, beat Burundi 2-1. Still in Group A, Rwanda outsmarted Sudan with a 3-1 win. Only one team will advance from the qualifiers of the CAF region to join other continental qualifiers at the 2018 Under-17 AFCON slated for the 12th to 26th of May 2019 in Tanzania. Apart from the hosts, each of the 6 zones receives one spot in the final tournament, and the zone of the defending champions, West A zone, receive an additional spot. The top 3 teams at the 2019 tournament qualify for the Under-17 World Cup in Peru next year.
At the same time, CAF disqualified 11 overage players ahead of the start of the tournament of the CAF qualifiers. According to CAF, MRI tests have proved that certain players are overage and not eligible for the tournament. On the line, we have Jeff Kinyanjui, a sports journalist in Nairobi. And Jeff, what we can term as age fraud has been rampant in African Youth Championship. Remember that in April 2013, 9 players were excluded from the African Under-17 Championship in Morocco after MRI wrist scan showed them to be over the age limit. How is this situation likely to improve?
Well, I think it's a very sad situation. CAF had already said clearly that all the member associations that will be participating in the CAF Under-17 qualifications for 2019 Under-17 AFCON, that they need to do mandatory MRI tests before they go for the tournament in Tanzania. Some of the federations, like the Kenyan Federation, did it, but I'm really surprised that despite that, 3 players from the Kenya under-17 team were also banned for being overage when they got to Tanzania, and CAF did another test. So I think in future, CAF needs to work with all the member association and probably approve health centers that will be doing the mandatory MRI test, such that when they get to the tournament itself, there is no such a situation that they're banned again. So, but it's a really sad situation, and to improve this, CAF has to work hand in hand with the member association.
Thank you, Jeff. That was Jeff Kinyanjui, a sports journalist, speaking to us from Nairobi, Kenya. Still on the under-17s, Cameroon were crowned champions of the tournament of the Union of Central African Football Federations after the final played on Sunday against the Republic of Congo at the Malabo Stadium in Equatorial Guinea.
Cameroon's under-17 football team, the Lion Caps, defeated Congo-Brazzaville 3-1 to be crowned champions of the UNIFAC under-17 final played in Malabo in Equatorial Guinea. The tournament is organized for under-17 football teams from the Central Africa zone. It was not easy with all these difficult moments we had to endure, but the main objective was achieved. That is, we are champions of the Central Africa zone. The tournament was overshadowed by age cheating controversy. Sao Tome and Principe were forced to abandon the competition because many of their players lied about their real age. Most of them were above the required age to compete in the tournament. The coach of Congo suspects some players were not truthful with their age. At each World Championship, African teams are eliminated in the group stage because we cheat, which affects us in the final moments. My players played with 25 to 27-year-old guys. Cameroon's under-17 coach has denied the accusations. It is not a problem for us to redo the tests. We are ready. We have no problem with that. I am not a doctor. Neither do I make the technical decisions. I am not a CAF official. We are ready to redo all the tests for our players. We are not afraid of that. Away from the age controversy, Cameroon's under-17 team will now prepare to represent the Central Africa zone at the 2019 Under-17 Africa Cup of Nations to be played in Tanzania.
Dutch legends Clarence Seedorf and Patrick Kluivert were last week unveiled as Cameroon national team head coach and assistant coach, respectively. The duo signed a 4-year contract with the continental champions ahead of the AFCON on home soil next year and are tasked to win the tournament. The duo is tasked with also qualifying the indomitable Lions for the 2021 AFCON and 2022 FIFA World Cup in Qatar. Listen.
Clarence Seedorf and his former Netherlands teammate Patrick Kluivert were unveiled as Cameroon's coach and assistant last week by Cameroonian Minister of Sport Pierre-Ismaël Bidon. The two former AC Milan players took over from Belgian Hugo Broos, who left last year after the indomitable Lions failed to qualify for the World Cup in Russia.
We want to win again this cup. We have a team that has a lot of potential, and I think we can do great things with them. We are very happy to be here, and we are aware that it will not be easy, but we like to work hard. Thank you all, and I hope we will meet again on the ground.
Cameroon will host the 2019 Africa Cup of Nations next June, while they'll be defending champions after lifting their 5th title in Gabon last year.
Away from the continent, Robert Lewandowski notched the first ever Super Cup hat-trick to take a measure of revenge for the last year's German Cup final defeat. Bayern's 5-0 means Niko Kovac picks up a trophy in his first game as Bayern boss. Check out the highlights. Cristiano Ronaldo scored just 8 minutes into his Juventus debut and was mobbed by fans as a pitch invasion saw the game abandoned early. Ronaldo scored the first goal in Sunday's 5-0 victory for Juventus senior side just a month after the 33-year-old completed a move from Real Madrid. Check this out. Brazil soccer great Ronaldo said on Sunday that he has been hospitalized in Ibiza since Friday because of a flu. The 41-year-old Ronaldo, a 3-time FIFA World Player of the Year, said on social media that everything is under control and that he expects to return home on Monday. Ronaldo won the World Cup with Brazil in 2002, with the striker scoring 8 goals at the tournament to take the Golden Boot. He spends much of his time in Spain, where he played briefly at Barcelona and at Real Madrid between 2002 and 2007. He retired from football in 2011 at Brazil's Corinthians. And that brings us to the end of this week's episode of Football Planet. I'm Victor Muisio. Goodbye.